Hey guys, today's video is going to be a little bit different. I'm holding the camera in a tripod and this feels really weird, but I have to do this because I'm going to show y'all something. But before I show you guys something, I'm going to talk about something. I want to let you guys know kind of how this youth group kind of started the way it is now. I mean, there was a youth group here at Huntington Assembly way before I was here. As far back as I can remember, there was a youth pastor named Michael Ward, and he was actually working for the church when Dwayne LaRue was the pastor here. Now, that's back as far as I can remember. I don't remember there being youth before that. I could be wrong, but I started coming here at the church around 96, 97, the best I can remember. Anyway, so we was a part of a youth group for quite some time at that point. But we was never a large youth group. There was never a large youth group here at the church. It was just us few, me and Justin LaRue, Tommy Boyd, just a few of us, Brandon Lawrence, Jimmy Lawrence. A few of us was coming to youth group here. And there's more than that. I just, I'm not going to mention everybody or else we'd be here for three or 4 days mentioning all the youth that's been through this place. But anyway, we was our own little youth group and didn't have a whole lot coming. But in 2002, September of 2002, matter of fact, September 17th, 2002, we was having a revival here at our church in the sanctuary. That's before this building that I'm in right now was built. What was funny about it, a quick backstory is this building, before it was built, there was a slab out here, just a dirt slab, pad. And before it was even concrete was even poured, I remember on a Sunday night, we all came outside and stood on this, where this building is now, the building I'm in right now. We stood on this dirt pad that had been formed up ready for concrete, and we prayed that God would use this place to change lives and that it would just transform the youth of our community. Well, we didn't really know how far that prayer was going to go. And so, we know prayer is powerful, but sometimes, let's be honest, we don't really believe our prayer is going to be answered sometimes. And that was one of the ones we just kind of prayed, thought it was a good prayer for me. And I'm like, this is great. This is what I want to see happen. But did I ever really think it was going to happen? And no, I got to be honest, I didn't really think that it was just going to genuinely do what it did. But anyway, so that was before the building got built. Well, the building, if I'm not mistaken, got put in the dry the summer of 2002. And anyway, September 17th, 2002, the building was in the dry. We had the inside, with the outside completely finished, but the inside was a construction area. It was not finished because we was going to have more money to do the inside. We was doing a few phases at a time. Anyway, September 17th, 2002, we was having a revival in our sanctuary with Brother Dennis Thrasher. And a young man named Zach Ferris had invited a friend named Brandon Boyd to come to church with him that night. And this young man named Brandon Boyd got saved. And there was there might have been 20 people at the revival that night. But this young man named Brandon Boyd got saved. And it's not the Brandon Boyd from the band Incubus. Anyway, but this young man got saved. And so I remember that night he was asking questions about people praying in tongues and all kinds of stuff. So I did my best to answer his questions for him. And then so I took him home in my truck. And he lived right here outside of Huntington. And so he's like, hey, man, I want to come back to church. So I said, okay, we'll pick you up, whatever. And matter of fact, I was 20 years old. I had just gotten married May, and this was September. And so we picked him up that next church service, which I couldn't remember if that was a Sunday or a Wednesday. I don't remember what the next church service was. But we picked him up on the next church service. And he said he had friends that wanted to come to church. Well, I wasn't even old enough to drive a church van because you have to be 21 to drive a church van. So James Elmore, matter of fact, the pastor was Brother Ricky Elmore. And so his son, James, was old enough to drive a church van, and I wasn't, although I was interim youth pastor for John Richmond because John Richmond had started his tour of duty in Iraq, his first tour of duty in Iraq. He had left for that. And so I was interim youth pastor, and I had no idea what I was doing. And so James Elmore was like, hey, man, if he's got friends, let's go pick him up. So we went and started picking up his friends, and next thing you know, we had a busload of kids. And so it was so many kids, we couldn't fit them down in our sanctuary, like down in the fellowship hall. So we brought them up here to this building that had nothing in it but construction equipment, and we grabbed some old chairs that we have out in our shed right now, some old wooden chairs, and we set them up. And we set them up kind of over here in this area right here. And we set chairs up right out here, and we had a big pile of wood right about there. I got to get my hands straight. Right about there where those chairs are. A big pile of wood, construction junk all over those walls. And then from about here back, it was full of construction equipment. So anyway, we had all these kids, and we was like, what are we going to do with them? And so we brought them up here to this building, and no air conditioner, no heaters, no nothing. We had one light. I believe it was right up here in the middle. I believe it was just one light. And so and it was one of these type of lights. And so we came in here and we had church with these kids, and they started getting saved. First of all, I didn't know what I was doing. James Elmore I got to give him all the credit because he was doing all the games and all the fun stuff, but I had no idea what to do. I just knew that when it was time to preach, I wanted them to get saved. So I got up and I started preaching to them, and they started getting saved. And so that was September of 2002. And within 4 weeks, because I remember 1 week we had like 20 kids, the next week we had like 30, and then the following week we had went 40, and then after that I remember we skipped 50 the following week, the fifth week, and then I think it was the fifth week we had 60 something. And so from that point, September, October of 2002, all the way up until now, of course this virus stuff has kind of messed things up. But all the way up until now, we've had anywhere from 40 to 150 students every single Wednesday night. And then you'll get sometimes that good of a crowd on a Sunday night. And so anyway, we've done that for years here in this building. So you're looking at, that's 2002, so we're looking at 18 years now. We're at 18, going on 18 years of having a very large youth group that just happened on its own. We didn't put it together. We didn't make it happen. A kid got saved and started inviting his friends, and we just hopped on a van and started picking up his friends. And then we finally bought another van, and we finally got another van, and anyway, it's just kind of grown since then. And this building was nothing but a construction zone. And we was having church, and kids were getting saved right here. We was playing games, and kids were getting saved right here in the middle of a construction zone. Well, the video today wasn't, I could go into a lot more detail and give you guys a whole lot more detail of the history of this thing, but I don't want to make this video too long. But I want to let you guys know that for 18 years, we've been having youth group in this building, and it's still unfinished. See these two rooms right here, which I'm going to take you over here to them. These are the restrooms, all right? These are the bathrooms, and we had not had running water in this building until October of this last year, okay? These bathrooms were completed, and I say completed, they're still not 100% complete. They work. The water works, the toilet works, the sinks work, the showers work. We need a urinal in the boys' room. And so, but anyway, so see there, they work. They work. We have not had running water in this building until October of this last year, which means we've went 17 years in this, having church in this building, of kids getting saved, healed, delivered, completely transformed lives with no running water, barely any electricity, and of course, anyway, so what I'm saying is there's been a whole lot of lives changed in a building that is not completed, a building that is very subpar. We probably, maybe legally, can't even have church in here. I don't know. Nobody's stopped us yet. It's been 18 years. But anyway, I was wanting to take you guys around and show y'all the building. First of all, give you a little quick history. And second of all, let you guys know that you don't have to have a completed facility to get lives changed, because the whole point of having church is not to have the facility to have church in. It's to have people that you can touch and you can reach for the kingdom of God so their lives can be changed forever. That's the point. My other point is we need this building finished. Okay, so for 18 years we've been functioning in a building that is incomplete. Now, we have had a lot done. See the stage here? We have many, many concerts on this stage. We have church services right here now. And it's a good thing. But you can see the walls behind it. Our walls have holes in them everywhere. And it's from kids playing basketball and football and stuff in here. And if we wanted to be really polished like a lot of good churches, we would tell kids they can't do that. But then you lose the kids because you can't have fun with them. And so therefore you save the building, but you lose the kids. I would prefer to lose the building and save the kids. That's just my preference. We can figure out a way to keep this building protected and safe while we're still able to throw footballs and basketballs and frisbees and dodgeballs and stuff like that. Anyway, so We've been having church in this building for 18 years now, incomplete. Now we've had a lot done. See our sound system here, we named it Frankenstein because it's pieces from different sound systems I've found over the years, and we put it together, and we have hosted some of the best bands ever here. Spoken, War of Ages, Mouth of the South, Saving Grace, Bread for War, all these names. We got Seventh Day Slumber coming here in a month. I mean, this is stinking awesome, and we're in a building that is incomplete. Most people won't even think about having church until they get everything in place and it's perfect. And we've been having church for 18 years in a building that is incomplete, and we've been seeing lives changed every single week since September of 2002. Now, there's been ups and downs, and especially this COVID thing, man, it's killing us. I hate it because, the last 2 weeks we've actually had service in here, and we've had more like 30 or 40 people, total. So you're looking at maybe 20 to 30 kids and then another 10 to 15 adults or so. And we've been having it together because technically you're not supposed to have separate classes in the state of Arkansas right now. So everybody's been coming together in this building and having a church service. But so this COVID thing's really hurt us as far as our attendance, our crowd, being able to pick up kids, etc. But we're still reaching lives. I mean, we still had this past week, we still had, I think, 4 people respond to give their lives to Jesus just this past week with such a small crowd. And it's not unusual for us to see 20 or 30 kids come up for prayer to receive Jesus or to be healed or to delivered or set free, whatever. And so what I'm saying is we're seeing a lot done in this building, and it's incomplete. But the other thing is we really need to get this building completed. We need to do this. So let me share with you guys a quick vision of what we have here. Just an overview. There's going to be a whole lot of details I won't be able to share because of the time of the video. But of course, this is the stage, and you see the backdrop there. It's just the insulation that came whenever they built the building. There's holes in it and all kinds of stuff. I'm wanting to get this building re-insulated. And now I don't want to tear down the insulation that's in it. I don't know what we can do. Maybe some of you guys out there are smarter about this than I am. But we need this building to be insulated well. I've had a bid to do somebody to do the spray foam insulation, but it was like 20 grand. But we don't have 20 grand. We're not even close to 20 grand around here. And even if we did have 20 grand, that would probably be about all we had, and then we'd use it all to insulate the building. Then what else would we do? We got to keep buses running. We got to keep kids coming. We got to pay the regular bills. And so anyway, we can't just spend $20,000 on insulation, and I don't want to get a loan because then you're stuck paying a payment forever. And so, but we really need to insulate this building. The foam insulation that we've talked about doing is that we'd have to cover it somehow to keep it from falling off or getting tore up. And then if we covered it with something solid, then that would actually kill one of the purposes and one of the things we do here, which is the sound. Anybody who knows sound knows that you don't want these solid, hard walls up whenever they're playing music up here, because it's going to be nothing but like a gym effect. It's going to sound like a big high school gym where everything echoes, and you're going to lose your sound quality by like 90%. So anyway, I don't know if you can do like insulation in these walls, like a 6 or 8 inch insulation, and then cover them with chicken wire, or like with even fencing, like chain link fencing. And then we want to paint it all. Of course, it would all blend, and that way when balls hit it, it would hit the fencing or the chicken wire, and it wouldn't tear the insulation. And we just paint it all black, paint the ceiling, paint everything black. That way it's all hidden, and if there's ever a puncture in it and the insulation showing through, you can just paint it, and nobody will see it. Anyway, that's kind of the idea we're having. Plus, you keep your insulation exposed in a sense to where the sound dies with it. But we need this building insulated well because our heat and air units really stink. In the summertime, when it's 100 degrees outside, the coolest we're going to get this building is about 90 degrees. Sometimes you might drop down to 87, 88. But anyway, our heat and air units, we got one unit right here that don't even work. We have 3 more units that do work. We have 4 5-ton units that run this building. 3 of them work. 1 of them don't work at all. Even when all 4 of them are working and it's 100 degrees outside, we might get this building down to 85. Now, I think that's probably an insulation problem. That's why we want to get this thing insulated, ceiling and everything. Okay, you see the ceiling up there? We want to get this thing re-insulated over the top of what we already have so that this building is not letting any of the air out. That's going to cost us a lot of money. We don't know what it's going to cost, but we need somebody to let us know. That's one thing we're needing to get done in here. Heat and air units. Get them repaired, fixed, brand new ones. I don't know. We need new ones. We need something to be done with those so that they're more efficient and work well. Our bathrooms are almost 100% complete. Just a few things in there. This area here, this is our kitchen area. Now, this is what we run our concession stand out of when we have concession stand. This is going to be the kitchen when it's completed, okay? You guys see in here. It is absolutely 100% not completed. We have run extension cords to try to do what we can do in here. We got to get electrical. We got to get plumbing. We got to get sheetrock, mud tape, texture paint, trim work. I mean, the works. Everything's got to be done in here. You do see our hot water heater. Thank you, James Carter. We got the hot water heater hooked up, and that way we have warm water in our bathrooms. But that's got to be finished. Of course, you're going to have cabinets. You're going to have, we have an ice maker. We have a spot for an ice maker, an industrial sink, all kinds of stuff in here. And this is going to cost, I mean, anybody who knows anything about construction knows that a room like this, to get it completed, is going to cost probably at least 20 grand to get this room completed, at least. I mean, I'm underestimating. And also, we're wanting to have a washer and a dryer over here, too. Because one of the things that's really cool that we offer now at the Good Fight here at Huntington Assembly is when bands come to play here, we actually have showers and air mattresses and blankets and pillows and everything so that they have a place to stay. A lot of you guys don't know about that, but whenever you're a band and you're traveling, it is nice to have a warm shower or hot shower, warm shower. And what would be even nicer is if they had a place to do their laundry. So we're wanting to have a washer and a dryer in here so the bands can wash and dry their stuff they haven't been able to wash and dry. Because I'm going to be the first to say this, and I don't mean this mean to any of the bands that have come through here, but sometimes when bands come through here, they stink. And it's because they had no place to take a shower. They had no place to clean their clothes. And, you know, I don't care if they stink or not. We still have fun. They get up here on the stage and they minister to the kids, and we have fun around here. And I'll give them a hug and I'll stink right with them. But it is a nice thing when the bands can come in here and they can take a shower, they can sleep without having to pay any money for a hotel room, without having to sleep in a van, and they can wash their clothes, stuff like that. Anyway, up here you see our makeshift lights, okay, right there. Those are some lights that put off like 1,000,000 degrees heat, and they cost a lot of money to run because they're not efficient. They're not LED. Same thing up here on the stage. I want to get new lights in this place. I want to get nice new lights, and also these lights up here you see, how you do that? Okay, I could never be a weatherman. See that light right there? Those are called mercury vapor lights. They're mercury vapor bulbs. And I can't remember how many amps they use, but they use a ton of power. And we want to get those replaced with LED bay lights. I want to get our stage lights moved somewhere here in the middle and have those for the stage. And there'll be LED lights on those too. And anyway, so we got a lot that needs to be done here. Oh, I didn't tell you. This area up here. That all up there is going to be like a hangout game room area for the kids. Now, right now, you see there's nothing up there. There's no way to get up there. We're going to have stairs over here, and we're going to have stairs back here in this closet area that go up so kids can get up in there. And then, of course, we have to have some way to fence this off so kids can't fall off. They can't jump and fall off because we got some kids that would want to jump off, try to do double backflips off the top of that. We won't be able to handle that, so we need some sort of goat panel or cow panel to put up there so they can't fall off, but where we can still hear and see what they're doing. And so anyway, that's another thing. I mean, I don't know what that's going to cost, but we want to have like these booths and stuff put up there, pool tables, whatever. I mean, just make it fun for the kids, a place up here where they can have fun and hang out and be safe. And so anyway, this is just a quick overview, about as quick as I could give you, of a testimony of how this thing got started. None of us started it. One kid got saved, started inviting his friends, and it's been that way for 17, 18 years now. The building is unfinished. We have seen hundreds, if not thousands, of people saved, healed, and delivered in this building, unfinished. Okay, ministry is not about this building. Ministry is not about this building. Ministry is not about the sound and the lights. That's not ministry. And if you think that's what ministry is about, you've got it wrong. Ministry is about taking Jesus to the people and letting them encounter him and their lives being changed and transformed. That's ministry. We've done ministry. We have reached people in this building when there was nothing in this building, and we're still reaching people in this building while we have stuff in this building. All right? So ministry is not about what we have, but also it would be really nice to be able to facilitate the people that we do have a little better. So we're wanting to get this building completed. If you want to help us get this building completed, please don't hesitate to donate some money towards it. I'm going to let you guys know how to do that before I shut the video off. I've been going for 19 minutes now. This is almost as long as one of my messages. Someday I may sit down and share the whole testimony of all this, but you guys got an overview of it today. Hopefully you'll share this video. Hopefully you'll let people know that we have something awesome going on here in Huntington, where every single week, like I said, the COVID thing's kind of messed us up. We're down in numbers right now, and I understand that. People are scared. But on a regular basis, any time of the year, just different times of the year you have more and less, but whatever. On average, you'll sit here with 60 to 70 students every single week. Sometimes in summertime it drops. Sometimes in school times it's up more than that. But we have a ton of students here every single week. It's the most consistent opportunity we had. Who would have ever known that when we stood on this slab before it was poured, 18 years ago, that we was going to have such a long-lasting, deep impact within our community of the youth here in our community. It's just amazing to me. And so I see where prayer was effective. It really worked. And now we're in the middle of it. But now we need your help. We need to get this building finished. We need this building to run efficiently. We want to be able to run this building more than once a week. And because right now running it once a week will cost us, if I'm not mistaken, between $250 and $350 a month in electricity just to run this building one time a week. And so we need to think this thing needs to be more cost effective, cost efficient, whatever you want to call it. We need this building completed. We want this building completed. I say we need it. We can have church without having it completed. We are reaching people without this building being completed. But we want it completed. We want to get this thing completed. Here's the deal. Here's how you can give. If you want to give directly to the church, you can mail to the church, or you can bring it by the church here. Probably the easiest way to give would be there's an app for Android or for iPhone called Easy Tithe. Get on your app store, get the app Easy Tithe. When you get in there, look up Huntington Assembly of God. And I believe there's only one, but it should say Huntington Assembly of God in Huntington, Arkansas. Or Arkansas, whatever. And you'll be able to get in there and you will be able to donate money to this church. Now you can give tithes and offerings. Now I got to warn you, if you give tithes and offerings, I get money from that. That's how the church, everything gets paid. Every bit of the staff, everything, the bills, everything gets paid out of the tithes and offering, okay? So me, as a pastor, I make 30% of undesignated tithes and offerings here at this church. So if you give to this church undesignated tithes and offerings, I make 30%. So if you give $100, I get $30 out of that $100. That's what I make as a pastor here. And then we pay for all all the utilities, everything that's got to be done here comes out of tithes and offerings. But on that app, you can find different sections: bus ministry, building ministry, etc. Okay, so if you give to anything specific, bus ministry, building ministry, youth, whatever, kids, I do not get that money. I don't get 30%. That money does not get distributed throughout the church. It goes directly towards what you're giving it towards. Okay, so I'm just letting you guys know up front as the pastor, if you give tithes and offerings to this church, I make 30% of that, and that money is distributed throughout the church to pay for all the different things that we need done to help us function, okay? But if you want to give specifically to a specific fund, that money goes specifically to that fund. Okay, I want you guys to get that because you need to know that so that if you give, listen, if you're giving tithes and offerings, you're giving and I'm getting some of that. But I'm telling you right now, a way to get around that is give specifically. I won't get a dime of it and it'll go straight to getting this building finished and completed. If you give to the building fund, if you give to the buses, of course, I've already showed you guys our buses out here before. If you give, that's what keeps us going. Right now, our buses are running pretty good. Yes, that's a good thing. We haven't had 4 good running buses and ever since I've been here. Never had 4 buses you could depend on. Right now we got 4 that run pretty dang good. So I'm very glad about that. But if you want to give towards the bus ministry, then we still have repairs that need to be done, and we still put gas in them every single week to pick people up. Anyway, there's so much more I want to show you guys about this building that I want to get done, specifics, ideas, things that I have, but I don't have time in the video. Anyway, so you guys share this video. I gave you guys a quick testimony of how this thing got started, and I gave you guys a quick vision of what we want to see done in this building. If this is something that you think that you want to be a part of, donate towards it, and if you want to be a part of it and give to this thing specifically, don't do it tithes and offerings. Do it as a gift towards the bus ministry, building fund, or whatever. And that way you know that your money is going specifically towards this, and not one person is getting their hands on it other than it's going towards getting this thing finished. So thank you guys for watching this video. Sorry I didn't actually preach a message today, but this is what I wanted to do. I love you guys, and I'll see y'all next week. Oh, we are having church tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, having church at 10:30 here in the sanctuary. So if you want to come tomorrow, I'll see you at 10:30 in the morning. And don't forget, Seventh-day Slumber, June 25th. Seventh-day Slumber, June 25th. I love you guys. See y'all.